It's Saturday morning. I am coming off of like a week long worth of just battlegrounds with myself. I told myself that I was going to start showing up more. I was just going to start showing up more on YouTube. And a part of that is just like showing up whenever I don't want to be seen or I don't really want to show up. And the truth is that I've really been struggling ever since I got back to Dallas, which was about, I don't know, 3 months ago. I have been struggling a lot. Nobody really talks about integration after you've had like a huge like life change, spiritual awakening, after you like go on a journey of some sort and then come home. Like this is some real shit. And you know, maybe that's why so many people, like whenever they do kind of go down a spiritual journey or they have an awakening or whatever you want to call it, maybe that's why a lot of people never come home after that. I've met a lot of people like while I was traveling that just kind of have like had an aha moment, had something that made them break and that pushed them to leave their comfort zone, and then they just never really went back. And I had no intention of ever moving back to Dallas. And, this place had so many like triggers for me, like so many images of like the life I used to live or the person that I used to be or people that used to be in my life. Like felt super uneasy, even just like being in the city for like a brief 30 minutes. So I had no intention about coming back to Dallas at all. But I got called back here. And I know I got called back here because it was time for me to fix my relationship with some of like my core wounds, some of the things that I wouldn't have been able to work on had I had been just gone from here, far away. And I know I got called back to Dallas to address those things. Like I'm very much dealing with this like inner child version of myself. Like this week, I have been a mess. I have really felt extremely like self isolated. I have really am just like experiencing that the universe, source, God, whoever is really just asking me right now to tap in with myself. And that's been very clear because it seems like all of my little like comfort zones, all of the things and people and situations that have been in my life recently are all kind of starting to go a different direction for me. And the old me would have been like thinking, okay, what's wrong with me? This is my fault, all of that. But now that I'm far enough on my journey, I understand that this is not necessarily personal. This is actually just that God, source, the universe, whoever is asking me to tap in with myself. And this is the one thing that I think that I've been like most afraid of my whole life is being alone, being without a support system, being without a community. And as I mentioned in other videos, I've literally been chasing that fear of being alone for in like all different types of my life. And I think right now, because I have been emotionally prepared for this, it's happening right now. It's like I came back to Dallas and I really don't have any friends here. I don't really have family here. I don't have like really anything here. I thought that I was coming back here to tap back in with my family that's like close to Dallas-ish, and also with my work, but it's becoming really obvious that I didn't come here to tap back into my work or my family, I came back in to Dallas to tap back in with myself. And it's been scary. It's been rough. Like this week, I have been going through a lot of emotions. Like one moment, I feel super powerful, like hell yeah. I'm super excited to take on this challenge and be able to really overcome this like core wound of being alone. And I'm like, one minute I'm super excited to take on that challenge, and then the next minute I am on my hands and knees, like crying, like, why is this happening? Like, why? Like, I thought I overcame all this, like, shit, like, all of that. And I am just realizing that all of my friends, teachers, peers, people that I see on the internet, like, everybody talks about, like, the spiritual journey and, like, what it looks like. And when you go down a path of trying to heal yourself, like this is a continuous thing. You just go through different chapters. Like you never just really change your whole life in a year and then everything is better. Like this is a continual thing. And it just seems like the more we dive into ourselves or into healing or into like an awakening, like the layers just keep going like further and further down below. Like it's like the awakening, the healing, like it gets deeper and deeper and deeper every single like chapter. And, you know, luckily I have people that I've met, relationships that I've had that have like prepared me for this mentally. But I don't think anything can really prepare you for it unless you've just had experience with it. And coming back to Dallas and thinking like, oh, like I'm ready to integrate back into my life here. I'm ready to be a bigger and better version of myself than what I was before. Like, I thought that that's what was like going to happen here. And in reality, like I'm just being asked to go deeper into myself and face like harder shit. And you know, I was like, one of my friends shared with me this really amazing piece of work by a man named Francis Weller, I think. And he was talking about like, you know, when you don't have community around you, like if you don't have like-minded people around you, you don't have people that really understand like your journey that you're on. He talks about, you know, the thing to do in that situation is to try to be that welcoming committee, that like that community for other people that are like coming back from where you've been. And I feel like that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like I feel like I don't have a sense of community, and I know that that's for like a specific purpose. Like as I mentioned, like I'm being asked to tap into myself, but I thought that that was like a really beautiful thing to express to other people that may be experiencing this. Like when you're integrating back into your life, back into maybe your career, your hometown, all of that, and it seems like you've changed so much and you can't really connect with anybody the way that you used to. Like I think that Francis Weller said it really beautifully. Like if you don't have anybody to welcome you home because you've changed so much, you need to be that person for others, like even strangers, even other people that are just like, you might not know them super well, but you see where they're headed or where they've been. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, is like I'm being asked to really tap back into myself. I'm being super challenged by the fact that I don't really have anybody to lean on. And that's okay. Like I know people will see this video and be like, I'm there for you. Like you can always call me. Like people always do that, which is great. They mean well. But the truth is that like the more we keep avoiding ourselves, the more we keep saying, oh, I can be somebody you can talk to or you can open up to me, like all of that. In my opinion, that's the opposite of what you should be doing when you're trying to really tap in with yourself. Like you don't need to be sharing, like you don't need to be venting, you don't need to be getting advice, you don't need to be doing except tapping into yourself. And I think that that's one of like my biggest struggles over the years, is that I've always like had this codependency vibe. Like I struggled with my relationship with my family, therefore like everybody outside of me like became this like place for me to try to lean on, because I didn't really have like a stable structure growing up. And that's allowed me to create like a lot of codependency and a lot of like, oh, I just need to vent to people, or I just need people that are there for me. And, oh, you didn't show up for me like I thought you should. Like just lots of codependency. And so I'm saying all this to say that I know a lot of people are going to say, hey, I'm always here. But the truth is, like, I don't, like, this is exactly what I need, is to be tapping into myself, to overcoming this need for other people to be able to help me move through my life. And I wanted to make this video because this is truly what's going on for me right now. I am struggling so much integrating back into my old life here, my new life here, and just having nobody like around, just being truly like a fish out of water. Like I am back walking the same streets. I am back doing the same career. I might be like around, I may be having relationships with people that like I've known from my past, but in all reality, like I am so different. And it's hard to like connect back with your city, with your career, with your families. Like it's super hard when you have just made all of these, like when you're just different. So this is what's been going on this week in my life. I am truly just trying to like get through. But I know that like on the other side of this, like I'm being asked to just really be like the biggest, most boldest version of myself. And the only way I'm going to be able to get to that person is if I really meet myself where I'm at and realize like, hey, you have to be your support system. You can't be codependent on people. You have to be in control of yourself. And the only way I'm going to be able to learn that, honestly, is kind of by myself. So that's where I'm at. Let me know if any of this resonates with you. Let me know if you have ever gone through what I'm going through. Like, if you've ever tried to integrate back into your family, your career, your old city. Have you ever tried to like integrate after going through a huge life change? Like, what was your experience? And if you've also struggled with like always looking outside of yourself for comfort, for reassurance, like for community, if you've found yourself like looking for community outside of yourself instead of within yourself, like I want to know, because I know I'm not the only one.